Hey, what's good? Coach Colin Castell here with ShotMechanics Basketball, and today I'm going to teach you how to increase your shooting accuracy instantly. All right, so in today's video, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over a few main keys that hopefully are gonna increase your shooting percentage the very first time you try them. Now, what's interesting is a lot of coaches just wanna shove everybody in the same cookie cutter form, right? Everybody's gotta do this with their hand and this with their feet and this with their arms. But the thing is, everybody's different, right? You're different from me, I'm different from you, and you're different from your friends. So what we're gonna do is hopefully we're gonna give you some tips today that are gonna dramatically increase your shooting percentage almost instantly. That's how powerful they are. But I'm also going to give you a chance, if you stay tuned to the end of the video, to win a free copy of my brand new unreleased shooting program called the Custom Shot Design. Now, this is going to change the way people think about shooting, so you're going to want to stick around to the end to find out how you can win a copy of that for free. Now, the very first thing we want to talk about is we want to talk about foundation, right? And there's a few different parts of foundation we're going to kind of cover, but foundation basically just means our feet and our lower body. Now, what your lower body does is really important because a lot of times it's a chain reaction that affects your upper body. So a lot of times we can fix a lot of upper body issues with lower body mechanic tweaks. So the very first one I want to talk about is the tilt, meaning as I'm getting ready to shoot, I want my feet tilted just off to the side a little bit. If I'm a right-handed player, my tilt's going to be to the left. If I'm a left-handed player, my tilt's going to be to the right. Now, this is important for a few different reasons. The very first reason is it alleviates tension in your upper body and your shoulders. If I'm facing 10 toes to the rim and I go to shoot, as soon as I start to raise this arm up, I'm gonna feel a ton of pressure and a ton of tension right here in my shoulders. You can even do that standing by your computer or by your phone right now. If I bring the ball up right here, if you're standing 10 toes facing forward, you can feel that tension, right? So immediately, just by tilting our feet off to the side just a little bit, all of a sudden that tension goes away. Now my elbow can fall underneath the basketball and in line with the hoop, keeping it straight. Because remember, a straight shooter is generally a great shooter. Now, the other benefits to adding a tilt to your jump shot are number two, a lot of times you're gonna get more power, right? Because if I can alleviate this tension, my power chain is going to generate through my body and into the basketball a lot smoother, so more of that energy translates into the basketball. So if you try a little bit of a tilt, odds are, number one, you're going to get more power, number two, it's going to stay straighter, and number three, it's going to give you more control and accuracy on your basketball. So it's kind of backwards. A lot of people think like, what do my feet have to do with keeping the ball straight or my accuracy? It has a lot to do with it, especially if you're adding a tilt. So keep in mind, right, we're trying to get perfect mechanics for you, not perfect mechanics for everybody at the exact same time. So play around with it and see what works best. So we just want our feet tilted off just a little bit to the side, and we're getting everything straight through. All right, so the next key we want to think about is power generation. So we're talking about keeping our heels off of the ground. Meaning as I'm getting ready to shoot, if it's off the catch or off the dribble on the pull-up, I want to get ready to shoot and keep my heels off the ground right here and power off the balls of my feet on the front. So you can see if my heels are up, I get this natural springboard motion, meaning that my joints can all flex together and load without the ground taking away my energy. A lot of times what you see is players will come in and they'll plant a heel and they'll plant a heel and all their energy goes straight into the floor, and then it's really hard to gather that energy back up, right? Think about if you were jumping off of a diving board. If you're getting ready to run, jump off a diving board, you're probably not gonna plant your heels into the diving board, because again, it's gonna take your momentum. You're gonna get up on the balls of your feet. That way when you're coming off, you get that good spring, that good pop. And shooting a jump shot's pretty much the exact same way. So no matter the situation, it could be off of a catch and shoot or a 1-2 step pull up. Each time we're thinking about, boom, sticking that toe into the ground, keeping our heels up. That way we get massive flex through our joints, transfer that power into the basketball, into the momentum. What's crazy is range is something that messes a lot of players up, right? They can't shoot from further out. So sometimes just having your heels off the ground can give you 3-4 feet of range on pretty much any shot, just like that, right? This is also a good one if you're missing short quite a bit, just off the front iron. Sometimes this is just enough to get right over, and it's pretty easy to start making more shots. All right, so the next one we want to think about is where we land. Now, traditional shooting coaches who want to shove everybody into that cookie cutter form always say you've got to jump and land in the exact same spot, right? And that can work for some players, but for a lot of players it doesn't work because we're still trying to get those upper body mechanics as well. And like I mentioned before, sometimes it's a chain reaction. So what works for a lot of players is to use what we call a sweep, meaning our feet are coming forward on our jump shot. So as I'm catching, if I'm loading at the 3-point line right here, most good shooters that you see, go back and watch some footage of Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, like pretty much the best shooters in the league. All of them when they shoot are going to let their feet come forward and their shoulders are going to relax back. Now, a lot of coaches are like, why would you do that? It's like shooting a fadeaway, right? We don't want to be shooting a fadeaway. But the thing is, it's not really like a fadeaway because as I'm loading and I'm jumping, I'm still shooting from the same spot. My feet are coming forward just a little bit, And on my release, I'm pretty much there, but all it is I'm just maximize my arc just a little bit more. Now there's a lot of science and data that backs up arc is one of the most important factors when it comes to making shots, because mathematically it gives you a better probability. And so what we want to do is, a lot of times if you have a flat release or a low release, it's going to really negatively affect your shooting percentage. So sometimes, instead of just raising our release like a lot of coaches want you to do, say, hey, you got to get this perfect release, sometimes by letting our feet come forward, our release goes from right here to right here. You see the difference? If I'm going straight up, straight down, my release is low right here, but if I go forward, my release is right there. And it's really not that hard to dial in that muscle memory like a lot of coaches want you to think. So, everybody's going to be a little bit different how far their feet are going to come forward, so experiment with it. I really like shooting on the three-point line because it's a great way to physically check to make sure you're coming forward. But you can do the same thing on the free throw line or pretty much anywhere, as long as you've got something to see that your feet are crossing over, right? So think about that feet sweep. It's not only going to give you more power, more rhythm, but it's going to give you better, more optimized arc as well. All right, so next let's do a drill to really work on that lower body and that foundation. So we're going to do 1 foot balance shooting. So all you're going to do is you're going to balance on your non-dominant foot. So if I'm a right-handed shooter, I'm going to balance on my left. If I'm a left-handed shooter, I'm going to balance on my right. All I'm going to do is I'm going to balance on that foot and spin the ball out in front of me. Now, if you've got a partner rebounding or passing, you can have them just hit you with a pass. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to spin it to myself. Off of the bounce, I'm going to catch, load that foundation, and then spring forward. Now, the reason why I want to do this is I want to put you kind of in an uncomfortable situation and then have you work on getting your feet to where they need to be. So think about my foot's going to be pointed straight towards the hoop as I spin the ball out. Then when I catch, I'm dropping that foundation, my heels are off the ground, toes are in, and then on the spring, feet are coming forward, right? Those are the 3 main keys that we're trying to get right now to optimize our jump shot, to hit more shots immediately, right? So once you get a shot on this side or wherever it's at, move back out to the 3-point line, spin the ball to yourself. Same thing again and again. We're just really working on getting that foundation set quickly out of an awkward situation, springing fast into your jump shot. This drill's awesome. I would get your reps in on it as much as you possibly can. All right, so now that we optimize your mechanics, so you're gonna see some huge results, things like you've probably never seen before, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take our ShotMechanics shooting assessment. Now, this is an exclusive part 2 of this video series, where if you click the link in the description down below, you'll get instant access to it. And then from there, that's where you're gonna have a chance to kind of test these mechanics out and see exactly how much you improve. And I guarantee you're probably gonna be blown away with the results just in these few little tweaks. And over there, that's where you're also gonna get a chance to win a free copy of my custom shot design. It's my brand new shooting program that's changing the way the entire world thinks about shooting, and has a lot of shooting coaches really scared about what's coming down the pipe. So all you gotta do, click the first link in the description down below, get instant access today, and I'll see you over at the ShotMechanics shooting assessment.